This is Rajesh. Now we are going to see a demo of ETL query. So before to going for an ETL, we need to know what is the purpose of ETL, where exactly we use ETL. So to cover these things, we need to discuss with one of the database called data warehouse. So before to data warehouse, we need to discuss about RDBMS. So this demo will be very clear and it's a layman demo. I hope most of all the people knows nowadays most of the things in IT, but still I just want to go through the basic level. So my target audience are laymen's. So in that perspective, I was taking my demo. So first we'll see where the data warehouse and what purpose is the data warehouse and where exactly the ETL comes and what is ETL, just overview we'll discuss going forward, but today is mainly about what is data warehouse database and where do we get the data, how do we get the data to data warehouse and what purpose we use. These all things we are going to see. Okay, as of now we have, I have an example or like I have a scenarios to discuss. So for this I will take two customers and those are like a bank customers. So I hope mostly all of us know like what does a bank do. We have lot of transactions like ATM transactions and some online net banking, else credit card. But all of them I'm not able to discuss. I'll just discuss with two transactions. One is ATM and the other one is net banking. For example, I'm taking two customers, but I hope most of us know in real world how many customers will do day to day each and every transactions for ATM as well for net banking. Okay, all these customers are doing this ATM or net banking or any other transactions. So where they are going to store? And this is today. Today is not a physical world. It is online world. Means everything is in cloud. Means every your data is online. So for that we need to store this data in RDBMS, which is a database used to store the day-to-day transactions data. And this RDBMS we use to run the business. Okay, so till now we were up to a bank business I was talking, and now we'll see another customer who belongs to some other business. For example, Redbus. Most of us know what is Redbus, what business it does. So Redbus is an application. Through online you can book your bus tickets or private travel agency buses. These private travel agencies are registered with this bus application so that you'll book and you'll do your journey. So whatever you book the ticket or you cancel the ticket or you change your date of journey, anything can happen. These all transactions again are going to store in a database. That is nothing but RDBMS. And next, of course, we do travel in many ways. I hope another way I'm taking like IRCTC. So here is a railway, Indian Railway. Okay, so this IRCTC is also an online application who are mostly interested in train journey. The same process, but the type of journey or the mode of the journey get changes here from bus to train. Whatever we do here, maybe you book in Tatkal, maybe you book in AC, maybe you book in sleeper or chair, anything on any date. Maybe it can be advanced or it can be cancellation or update. Anything can be stored again into in a RDBMS database. I hope what I hope most of you came to know that what I mean to say. Okay, I have another two more examples. Maybe this is another kind of business that is nothing but our online shopping, Flipkart. Nowadays, everyone knows this Flipkart. So what do we do here? We go through Flipkart and we browse for the products what we require according to the categorization placed in that Flipkart website. And you see all the images of your products. So these all images you see from where? How does the Flipkart store these images or product information? What is the price and when it is going to deliver? What address it is going to deliver? Such kind of all information, it is stored again in RDBMS. You give, when you are registering, you give the address, the same address will be stored and it will be getting confirmed once your order is placed. It will tell you this is the address we want to deliver. Is it fine or not? So how does things happen? Again, the concept of RDBMS. Of course, the other example I'm taking some frame business, just like another application, like Flipkart only, Amazon. Okay, here also the same process and everything goes into data into RDBMS. Now, by looking at this all process, this all information, I was mainly targeting RDBMS. So what is this RDBMS means? It is a relational database management system. It is a database which is used to run your business online. Okay, so you need to make access of your data online. So this RDBMS is also known as, in another way, it is known as OLTP systems. It is known as OLTP system, which is online transaction processing. So up to here, this is one server. Up to here, this is one server, like OLTP servers, we can say. Means it is running your business. These all front-end applications which developed by Java, .NET, like these all applications are going to get access till RDBMS. The data is coming, day-to-day transactions are happening, everything is fine. Now, the person or the people or the organizations which are running these all big scale companies want to perform some analysis on their business. Analysis, the term analysis means what? Do you see anytime? Do you hear anytime? I hope we don't need to hear. We see regularly in our daily life even, in our life even. But of course, we don't store any RDBMS data or something else like that. But a small example I'll give you. In our life, how we are going to do analysis. Example, my journey from my home to my office is 1 hour. There are multiple ways that I can go. So maximum I will plan. I need to reach my office within 1 hour when I start my journey from my home. So yesterday I went with one route which took me almost all 1 hour 15 minutes. So today do I recommend that? No. There is a route too where I can go, whether I can go within one hour or not. So I'll change my route to and I will go through route 2 today. Of course, that also given like 5 minutes of time means 1 hour 10 minutes it has taken with second route. Then tomorrow I'll change my route, third route. So I'll see whether the time is getting saved or not. So based on yesterday's information, what I'm doing today, I'm taking a decision. No, route 1 is not favor for me. Route 1 is not saving my time. So I'll just go to route 2. So like that we do analysis in each and every situation and each and every thing in our daily life. So the same way, these people also, the people who are running the big scale companies, those people also want to do business analysis. Through that, they store history data. I'm saying yesterday's route is not fine for me. How I am getting, how I got into decision. I already experienced yesterday. So based on the data, I'm taking decisions for today or future. So for that, in the same way, I want to store my history data. But these big scale companies doesn't store 1 day, 2 day, 3 days data. They store some years of data. But if they want to store in the years of data, they cannot maintain this RDBMS because RDBMS purpose is to run the business. So they cannot keep all this data into RDBMS. So they what planned and what new concept came into the world is data warehouse. So you need to dump your data into data warehouse, maybe monthly, yearly, weekly, quarterly. The frequency is up to you in the sense up to the client. So when we say data warehouse, you see two images here. The above one is one kind of, and the second one is the below one is in another way. How and what is the things we have? We have here data warehouse and data mart. Means mainly implementing data warehouse is our motto after RDBMS. So here the data will be stored. That's it. It is not to run the business. It is to analyze the business. So till yesterday's data will be here, but today's data will be in RDBMS only. Maybe daily frequency. Then the today's end of the day business, end of the business day, the data dumps into data warehouse. If the frequency is in that way. So the data warehouse can be built in two ways. That is the reason we see two images here. One is top to bottom, and the other one is bottom to top. Means two things are here: data warehouse and data mart. Data warehouse, once you construct and divide them into data marts, and you have data marts, and you get summarized into data warehouse. Two things. So what is data warehouse? In just overview I'll give you, but we have a separate class for this topic. So data warehouse is an enterprise data warehouse. Enterprise data warehouse which consists of each and every information of the organization. And data mart means it is a subject oriented. Subject oriented means it will have particular department information. I'll tell you see. Enterprise data warehouse. We have customers information, we have sales information, we have product information, we have employees information. Each and every information of organization will be present in data warehouse. But data marts can be based on your department. It can be sales data mart, it can be employees data mart, it can be customers data mart, it can be anything. Only the data mart in the sense only the subject oriented. So like this we construct and don't bother of these two things. We see very clear picture of these coming sections. Okay, now today is just overview. Just to think what is RDBMS, what is data warehouse. You need to understand. Don't think of data mart also. It's too early, but still. Okay. Now, how does the data load from RDBMS to data warehouse? How the data comes into RDBMS first of all? Because through the front-end applications developed on Java, .NET, something, so they are getting loaded into RDBMS. Now, who is going to load the data into data warehouse? Then there is a new concept or the concept called ETL. Extraction, E stands for extraction, T stands for transformation, and L stands for load. Using ETL concept, we can load the data from RDBMS to data warehouse. After loading into data warehouse, what we are going to do? We are going to do analysis. That is what analytics I say. And the data which is storing in the data warehouse or a data mart is in a table format, rows and columns. But that data need to be represented in the chart reports format like this, like a bar chart or any charts. So this is just overview of the reporting analysis. The business is into a image. So why, what purpose and who's going to use these means the end users who related to marketing people or like consumers or like agents means these all people will go through these reports and see how the business is. So this is the main thing of our process. Analysis is very important. So if something went wrong and the data loaded into data warehouse wrongly, these reports get generated wrongly. Obviously, the business analysis goes in wrong. So we should be very careful to load the data from RDBMS to data warehouse using ETL. So there are some ETL tools in the market like Talend and like Data Stage and one more Informatica and Abnisio and ODI, MSBI and SAP BODS. Of course, MSBA and SAP BODS supports complete ETL plus reporting. Who generates these reports is reporting people. Talent, they said they generate some reports, but it's not completely partial reports, very basic reports, ad hoc reports we say in reporting terminology. Data stage is completely ETL tool. Informatica, Abnisio are also a completely ETL tool. ODI is ELT tool, which is not ETL, ELT. It's Oracle product. Oracle, from Oracle, we have reporting like OBIE, Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, and MSBA, Microsoft Business Intelligence. Okay, so this is what a complete end-to-end data warehouse architecture. If you say a data warehouse project you're working on, maybe in your project you have been you need to see ETL plus reporting. So when you say these two, then that combination is one data warehouse project. So now we'll start up with ETL tool demo. Okay, we'll just go through overview of the tool ETL. Okay, and we are going to stop here with data warehouse. So this is what ETL tool, as we have seen previously in this session at the starting, that ETL tool purpose to load the data from RDBMS to data warehouse. So one of the ETL tool from IBM is Data Stage Designer. One of the ETL in the sense it's like in the market, throughout in the market from IBM we have one of the tool ETL. And we have reporting tool Cognos from IBM. So IBM Data Stage and Cognos both are the tools like which supports data warehouse database. And the repository is like DB2 of IBM for Data Stage, whatever we store here. To just go through the overview of the tool, I have some options here. This is like the welcome tool, we can say, or it's like a home page that we have in data, but it's nothing here. We see these all are disabled because nothing, just the tool we opened it. Now, if you want to see the components or the options that we have in data stage, we need to go for view tab. So when you go for view tab, we have palette. Once you click on palette, one of the window is going to open on side, left hand side. And there is another component like repository. If you want, we can just adjust this palette to on other side even. Yeah. So that should be a good way to look. But here, if you see the palette, you don't see any options or anything here because still we haven't opened any work area. The work area in data stage we call as canvas, the job canvas. So here in data stage we can create or we can design like types of jobs. The ETL flow, one ETL flow we can say it as a job. So we have 4 types of jobs. But of course, we discuss with main parallel and sequence jobs. Server is like a record by record flow of a ETL. So that is like initial versions of data stage jobs need to be developed with server jobs. But we are getting day to day the daily increase of data volume. The enhancements came into picture and the data came into parallel mode. So the data need to move parallelly. So we are going to design a parallel job. I mean to say server jobs are some are old jobs. Nowadays we are not at all using. All the projects are into parallel and parallel is having a demand. Of course, your project may be either using your project can be created either using parallel job or a server job. It doesn't matter. Sequences are common. Sequence jobs are common. Of course, we see them in our training, but first we'll go individual job level. That is like parallel job or a server job. Parallel jobs, we design a job and we will finalize all the I mean to say like requirement. To complete the project for requirement, we use any number of parallel jobs. It can be single, it can be multiple, it can be 20, it can be 50, it can be 100. It doesn't matter what the number is. But to complete our project requirement, we design our jobs, and those jobs are going to store in the repository. And this is a database kind of thing. The architecture of data stage we will discuss in detail going forward. But as of now, just a repository. It is a database. Assume that, and it's like DB2 database because IBM product is like database wise DB2, and we can have DB2 data warehouses also, and we have DB2 repository for data stage parallel jobs. Either that parallel or server ETL job, ETL flow, ETL tool designer repository is DB2. For example, if you take Informatica, Informatica doesn't have any repository by default. We need to install first any database like Oracle or SQL Server, any kind of database, and on top of that, you need to install Informatica and you need to create one user ID password in database, and we need to give connection to Informatica while installation. At that time, the repository get created using that particular database. But here in data stage, it doesn't require. Once you install, by default, DB2 will be installed here. There is option like don't want DB2, you want to go with any other database. 100% there is an option in installation. You need to, there is an option. It will ask you to choose the database you have or by default DB2. So if you say by default DB2 doesn't ask any user ID password, by default it creates by its own user ID password and it will install the data stage tool. That is the reason the installation time will be more when you compare with other ETL tools. This is one of the tool which will come up with a database as a repository. Of course, other tools also support database, but it's not like by default. It should be separate database and separate ETL tool in that. Okay. So that we'll discuss going further. There is no problem in that. And now I want to just give overview of the tool. So I want to create a parallel job, and please try to observe here the palette. Once you click on parallel job, this is a canvas. We say this as untitled 2. The job name by default will be untitled 1, untitled 2, untitled 3, like that. But if you should give one job name, that we'll see without saving your job name with untitled 1, untitled 2 also you can save. There is no problem at all. But a naming standard wise, we give some jobs names, job names. So if you see here, parallel. So you selected a parallel job canvas, so parallel jobs, and this is the symbol of parallel job. For example, if you take server, so what will happen? The parallel canvas will be changed into server, and this is the canvas of server. And accordingly, the palette options also get changes. If you see here, we have general tab, database tab, file tab, processing tab. In processing, you see very few stages that we see here. When I select server canvas. So, okay, the other options also we have. These are the palette tabs that we have: general, database, file, processing, and real time. Okay, now I'm just closing this canvas. Now I want to go for parallel. So here it is like most recent. I'm not going for jobs to go and select, but I'm choosing from most recent. Click OK. Now you see we have data quality, database, development debug, file, processing, In processing, you see, I have just noted before in server canvas, if you choose how many processing stages we have, very few. But here we have more when you compare with server. In the same way, if you go and choose for sequence, again we see sequence canvas. This is sequence canvas, and this is the symbol of sequence jobs, and we see only three palette tabs. So sequence activities, we call these activities. In parallel job and server job, we call them as stages. Okay. First of all, how do we design? I'm not ready to run the job and show you today, but I'll just show you how to design. As we discussed in this video at the starting, we have ETL flow to load the data from RDBMS to data warehouse. We have seen just RDBMS, but I did not say which particular database it can be. Of course, it can be any kind of database. It can be Oracle, it can be DB2, it can be Teradata, it can be SQL Server, it can be Netezza, anything. So if the project requirements is different way, for example, I have one kind of source. For example, we have different departments storing different databases. For example, a banking sector you take, credit card information is storing in DB2, and all savings account information is saving in one particular SQL Server database from Microsoft. And there is another database, Netezza, which supports to store the data of customers related to the insurance policies, whoever claimed that insurance or register for insurance. So these all customers details are in Netezza. So now I want to take these three data into data stage. How can I pull? How can I extract? Then just Netezza Informatics and I'm sorry, Netezza connector, and next we have SQL Server. Next we have DB2. So these three databases we can extract from different server, from OLTP servers, and pull the data into ETL server and load the data into a different server which where the data warehouse is. But altogether it will not be done in only one job. They can be multiple jobs. We'll go further. But I have a target as data warehouse, for example. Now there is a concept of three databases, so I need to do join. So I have a join stage which supports me to integrate of different databases and load it. So here, to just give overview, I have designed or dragged the input links to join stage somewhat a bit fast. Don't bother that the classes will be very in depth, very clear. Okay, every time I keep in mind a layman, but as the demo class, I'm just giving you overview of the tool. So I'm not that much particularly looking into each and every step, but once we go to practical sections, 100% will be very clear. Okay, so this is what a parallel job. So after creating number of jobs, these all jobs are going to store under this folder in the repository jobs folder. By default, it will be created. If not, you can create. You can create under jobs. You want to create any other name, we can create new folder and you can create. When we are going regular classes, I'll create one folder for us for to continue these classes. I'll store all those jobs in that particular job folder, and we at last will export them. Means those jobs can be exported and you can import into your data stage designer and you can run and you can view the data sets and everything will be provided. Okay, so to see this is a tool, just overview of tool I'm giving. So this is the run button. So once you click on run, the data gets started to load. First of all, we need to compile. First we need to, hey, sorry, I'm completely mapping into different way. See, this is what compile. So this is to compile and this is to run. Of course, we have shortcuts for compile F7 and to run control plus F1. So once you click on run, what will happen? The data gets started loading or extracting from the sources. Assume that everything went good. Then how do you identify how much time it taken to extract this data from these databases integrate and load it into database. So for that information, of course, from 8.7 onwards, we have this log. This is 9.1 version. So we can see the log from here itself. But this will not be that much clear. Everything will be step by step here itself. But if I want to see in detail wise, I can go for run director, which is another component of data stage tool, ETL tool. So in that director will be very, very clear. Of course, I don't have any jobs in designer, so I'm not able to see any job here. So once you click on job, the job names will be here. Once you right click on the job name and say view log, the job will open. Okay, so here it is saying there is no jobs. Okay, so like this we can see. Okay, your job is fail. Your username password is wrong, or your username password at the target is wrong. Then obviously it will fail. So complete flow will be stopped, will be failed. So how to know which database username password I have given wrong? Again, the log. So here we'll have status on the link bar also. After completion of the flow, it shows some status in three colors like blue color, red color, green color. Blue color indicates processing, green color indicates success, and red color indicates obviously aborted, means failure. So this is what a overview of the tool. See, it is asking to save the changes for untitled 6. If I give the name, it will save, it will ask to save in the repository, but I'm not giving. We'll create a folder and we'll see with that folder, we will see the jobs. So this is what a just overview of the tool. Okay, in the next classes, in the next coming videos, you will see